Hi everyone, and welcome to Walk Away from the Workbook. If you're new here, my name is Nicole Seymour, and I'm a kindergarten teacher in California. Welcome to the Number Sense series, episode 2, all about cardinality. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, what is cardinality? Cardinality is the understanding that the final number counted represents the quantity of the whole set. A follow-up question, why is cardinality important? The goal of counting is, of course, to answer the question, how many are there, or how many in all? And essentially, that's what cardinality is. It is telling you what the total is when you get to the end of a group of objects you're counting. A strong understanding of cardinality will help children with more abstract mathematical thinking, such as seeing quantities as whole sets or groups. For instance, we know that this is a group of plastic trucks in various colors. As adults, we know that we could count all of these objects together regardless of the fact that they are different colors. But we also know that we could count each color as its own set, and we would get a different quantity for each group. That is part of cardinality. When children are able to determine that quantities are full sets rather than just one object after another, they will also gain more automaticity in recognizing sets based on their visual representation. So for example, rolling a set of dice and immediately being able to identify the number based on how the dots are configured on the dice. Or understanding that one set of tally marks is 5 without counting them one at a time. You get the idea. Cardinality also helps children recognize that the total amount in the set doesn't change no matter how it is counted. They could count top to bottom, left to right. They could zigzag up and down. It doesn't matter. The result will always be the same. Another abstract concept that we as adults take for granted is the strategy of counting on or counting back from the total in the set. Here you can see 5 slices of cake and 2 apples. If you already know there are 5 slices of cake, you can start at 5 and easily count up 2 more because your mind will retain the quantity and allow you to continue the count without starting back at 1 again. The last example I'm going to leave you with is that cardinality leads to an understanding that you can count any collection of objects, whether they are tangible or not. You can physically count candies, toy cars, and socks by picking up the items and placing them into a group. You can't pick up and manipulate the number of claps, footsteps, or sounds you might hear, but you can still count them, right? I would say the most common misconception is that when children get to the last number in a set, they will automatically know how many they counted altogether. The truth is that unless you specifically ask them, you cannot assume they recognize the quantity as a whole group. Okay, Nicole, that's fine and good, but if that's true, how can we help our children if they are struggling with cardinality? What do we do? The good news is that there are some very easy ways to help your child develop cardinality. Number 1, just ask. When they finish counting a group of objects, ask them how many they counted.
How many are in each bowl or plate?
10.
10. Can you count how many you have so far?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
If they start back at 1 and recount the entire set, you'll know they don't have it yet. They need more practice. Number 2, use a number chart as you are counting objects. This one only works if your child is able to identify the number they are counting to, so make sure that you're not going too high for them. Number 3, use objects that are naturally in sets to introduce the concept. Think of socks, shoes, ears, eyes, arms, and legs. Those are all in natural sets of 2. But what if you take a look at different animals instead of people? Some animals have 2 legs, some have 4, and some even have 6 or 8. Give your children a visual by showing them what an animal would look like with a different number of legs. Not only is this a great way to develop cardinality, it's also really fun. Number 4, get a bowl or a plate. Put one object inside of it and ask your child how many objects are in the bowl. Next, put one object inside the bowl and one object outside the bowl. Ask them how many are in and how many are out. Then put both objects into the bowl and ask how many are in and how many are out. Keep up with this pattern until your child starts to recount the items starting at 1. This is a great introduction to cardinality because it's slow and deliberate. It will help children develop the understanding that the objects in the bowl are one set. And finally, have your child put a specific number of objects into a bowl, but give them more than they need. So for example, if you want your child to only count 6 objects, give them 10. Remind them to stop when they get to 6. If they keep going, start over again and keep doing it until they're able to stop. This is not something that is going to happen overnight. Like most things, it takes practice, and you'll have to wait until your child is developmentally ready to take this leap in their conceptual understanding of numbers and quantities. With practice, you can start these games as young as age 3, but please don't be discouraged if it takes your child longer to understand. Remember, we all learn to walk and talk at different times too. As long as your child is in the typical range of development, you shouldn't be overly concerned. Cardinality is a topic that I didn't realize was such a big deal until I started teaching kindergarten. When children are missing this important piece of their number sense, not a lot will make sense to them in the future. See what I did there? Don't be afraid to go back with them and make sure they really get it. It's never too late. I hope this video was helpful to you, and if you're looking forward to seeing more in the Number Sense series, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. New videos come out every Wednesday. Until then, have fun learning with your little ones. See you next time.